All right, welcome today, guys. I hope you're doing well and you are able to have a great day today. And I know that you guys are going to make the most of your day, no matter what comes your way. So, good morning and happy Friday. So, we're going to start today off with a number talk. I want to know which of the equations below is the same as 3/8. And how do you know? Is it 3 divided by 8 equals? 8 divided by 3 equals? 3 times 8 equals? Or 8 times 3 equals? So take a second and pause the video and decide which of these equations you think it is. You may think it's more than one equation, okay? And then I want you to be able to explain how you know. So go ahead and pause this video, decide which equation it is, and explain to someone around you why it is that equation. Okay, so let's see. Hopefully this came pretty quickly because we have been talking about it, but if it didn't, that's okay. That's why this is our question for today. Okay, so when we create a fraction, we always need to remember that this fraction sign is the same as telling us divided. Okay, so we could say 3 divided by 8 equals. Okay, so it is this first one. Okay, that is not the same as 8 divided by 3 equals. It's not the same. This is what we divide by. The bottom number is always what we divide by. What is the bottom number called? Bottom number is called denominator. Okay, so when we look at the denominator, we are saying, how many times can our denominator go into our numerator? How many times? And in this case, it can't, right? All right. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and move on for today. We're going to review today's I can statements. I can multiply fractions and whole numbers. I can use a number line to multiply whole numbers and fractions. Okay, so today we're really going to be focusing on that multiplication, okay? We are just going to do a bunch of practice problems together, okay? So I'm going to give you a practice problem. I want you to pause the video and work it out by yourself, and then check yourself by unpausing the video. Okay, so here's problem number 1. 8 times 2/5 equals. All right, so go ahead and pause the video. And when you're ready, you can unpause. All right, so what's the first thing we have to do? Hopefully you told me that since we're multiplying a fraction, we need to make both fractions. Okay, both sides need to be fractions in order to multiply. So, what is 8, the whole number 8, as a fraction? The whole number 8 as a fraction is 8 over 1. Okay, and we've talked about that and why that is. We always put whole numbers over 1 when we're putting them into fraction form. That's because if I did 8 divided by 1, so we know that this means 8 divided by 1. If I did that, my answer would be 8, that whole number. Okay? All right, so we could do 8 over 1 times 2/5. Okay? Now, what's my next step in multiplication? Hopefully you were thinking you're going to multiply across the top and multiply across the bottom. That's different than addition. In addition, our bottom stays the same. We don't change it, and we just add across the top. Okay, but this is multiplication, so we're going to multiply across the top and multiply across the bottom. 8 times 2 is 16. 1 times 5 is 5. Okay? So now we have what's called an improper fraction. So in our little quiz today, you're going to be able to leave your fractions in improper form. Okay? Improper form is when we have a bigger number on top than on bottom. But for the sake of this class, I want us to be able to put it into a proper fraction. So take a moment, pause the video. How am I going to put 16/5 into a proper fraction? Okay, so hopefully you were thinking to use the strategy that we did at the beginning of class, which is 16 divided by 5 equals. How many times can 5 go into our 16? Okay, without going over. And just in case you've forgotten, let's make 16 dots. Okay, so how many groups of 5 can I make? Well, let's see. Here's one group of 5. Here's another group of 5. And here is another group of 5. So how many groups of 5 can I make? 3 full groups of 5. How many do I have left over? How many are left over? I have 1 left over, okay? And that 1, it needed to be in a group of 5, okay? But it didn't get to be in a group of 5 because we don't have 4 more to complete it. So we're going to leave it 1/5, okay? I have 1 out of the 5 that I need, all right? So this is our proper fraction. 3 wholes and 1/5. All right, great job. Hopefully you got 16/5 or 3 1/5. All right, we're going to go on to the next one. Here's number 2. 7 times 6/4 or 6/4. Okay. This is what is that called? Improper fraction, because we've got a larger number on the top. All right, go ahead and pause this video and work this one out by yourself. All right, so how are we going to start this? Hopefully you started by making 7 wholes a fraction. So we put it over a 1 to make it the fraction and multiply it by 6/4. All right, next step is to do what? Multiply across the top and multiply across the bottom. 7 times 6 equals 42. 1 times 4 equals 4. Okay, so now we have our improper fraction. Go ahead and take a moment to make this a proper fraction. Okay, so I'm going to start off by saying 42 divided by 4 equals, right? Because that's what our fraction is, 42 divided by 4. So we are asking the question, how many times can 4 go into 42 without going over? Okay, so ask yourself that question. And I am going to do the division this way. okay? And I'm going to ask myself, how many times does 4 go into 4? Goes in one whole time. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. And I'm going to bring down the 2. All right, so now how many times? We've got a 0 and a 2, which means I can take away my 0, right? Because it's in front. How many times can 4... how many times can 4 go into 2? It can go in 0 times, right? So 0 times 4 is 0 minus 2. We have 2 left over. And always remember, the reason that I did that is because I need to fill up my tens place and my ones place. Okay, so now I've got a remainder of 2, which we know with our remainders, it's the same thing as saying we have 2 left that were supposed to go into 4. Okay, but we don't have 4 whole ones left to create another group. Okay, so we have 10 and 2/4. Now, to check our answer, we can do this. We can do 4 times 10 equals, so do 4 times 10, 40, and 4 times 2/4. Well, remember we got to do 4 over 1 times 2 over 4 equals 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 4 is 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So 40 plus 2 is 42. Okay, and that's what we had, 42 over 4. Alrighty. So hopefully you got 42/4 or 10 and 2/4. All right, we're going to do one last one. We'll do okay. And actually, before we keep going, let's make that a 5. Okay? So go ahead, pause the video, and work that out. All right, so we're going to do 5 over 1 times 3/15. We know we multiply across the top and multiply across the bottom to get 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 15 is 15. So this is 15/15. Okay, so that is our improper fraction. How many times does 15, or what is our equation? Let's start there. What's our equation going to be? 15 divided by 15, right? What does that equal? That equals 1 whole. Okay, so 1 is our answer, or 15 over 15. Alrighty. All right. This is the very last thing I want to do today, because you are going to be asked to do the same thing on your quiz. Okay, so all right, so right now I am creating a model that stands for the the equation that we're going to be writing. Okay? First, what I want you to do is I want you to tell me what equation I'm representing with this model. So what equation am I representing? All right, take a moment, pause the video if you need to. Look at that and think through it. Okay, so first of all, what is this fraction? So let's look at this one. What is this fraction? 3/4, right? I have 3 of my 4 boxes colored in. And that is true of all of these. 3/4, 3/4. So I am at 3/4, I've got that. How many groups of 3/4 do I have? How many groups? I have 1 group, 2 group, 3 group. Okay, so I've got 3 groups. So 3/4 times 3. Okay? So now I want you to create a story to go with the equation that we have here, which is 3/4 times 3. Okay, so try to be creative. Think about maybe something that you would have to split up into fourths. Okay, try to pause the video and create that. If you get stuck, you can unpause and we're going to go through this together. You can also unpause to check yourself. So here we go. We have, let's use a different color. We have 3/4 times 3. So we could say, Randy has 3/4 of a sandwich. His friends, we'll say his 2 friends, also have 3/4 of a sandwich. How many sandwiches okay, that was not supposed to be a question mark up here. That's a statement. How many sandwiches do they have all together? Okay. So, let's check ourselves. We've got 2 friends that have 3/4 of a sandwich and Randy. So that's a total of how many people? 3. And they each have how much? 3/4. Okay. So this is the same as this, which is the same as what we're modeling right here. Okay? So there's my equation. If I were to solve this out, I would figure out that three times 3 is 9. 1 times 4 is 4. So they have 9/4 of a sandwich, which 4 goes into 9 how many times? It goes in 2 full times, because 4 times 2 is 8, with only 1 left over. Oops, excuse me, 1/4. Remember, our 4 stays on the bottom as a denominator. Okay, so 2 1/4 sandwiches together. All right, that's it for today. Great job, guys. You did very well. Make sure to go and complete your quiz for today. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on Schoology and I will be around to help, okay? So I will get back to you as quickly as I can. All right, thank you guys. Bye.